Okay, so this is like my fourth time trying to record this. For whatever reason, each time something has gone wrong. So hopefully this time works. So first thing to get into is obviously last weekend was our first weekend doing the Contender. If we go back to our results here, the Rosario team drew 0-0 away from home, which isn't a bad result. Defensively, great. I picked up another defender as well just because he was doing so well, but I'll show you that in a bit. Going forward, nothing. Malcora had a stinker, 25, lost 11.6 AA, which isn't great. Lost possession 28 times, that's once every 3 minutes, which is appalling. So defensively, really good. Maybe I might look to stack them defensively next weekend with some of the attackers. Top 15% for this team. Juan Quintero didn't do as well. He didn't start the game, which wasn't great. They won 1-0, I think. Yeah, they did. They won 1-0, which is nice. Otto didn't keep a clean sheet. Hopefully, he can do okay next game week. Sangmu absolutely smashed it, and I really want to get into having more of them players. Them and De Jong Citizen players, but we'll get into that in a minute. I picked up a couple players, and Lee Yong did alright. 69, did really well, to be honest. Can't complain about him at all. Both of them got 2 essence, and both got promoted, which is the most important thing. But next weekend we're going to put in a third squad as well, so I'll take you through all of that. And there was a comment as well asking about how to get into Contender. I'll kind of give you a brief overview as well of what I think is the best way to approach that. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I picked up a few more players as well. As you can see, I picked up 7 in total, which is quite a lot between last video and this video. Adding some strength, adding some depth, adding some more collection pieces. So the first person that I picked up was Jesse Lingard, £6.78 on auction, which I was really happy with. If we look for Lingard here, now one thing that I always try and do is pick up players below market rate, just so that I can obviously sell them on for more. I've got the cheapest Jesse Lingard that's gone so far, so I can't complain at all. His floor price is currently 11.74. He's not scored great this season, but hopefully he can do well, and if he doesn't, I can always sell him on for a profit. Durate was a forward option, young. You know, he could break into the Rosario team this season, 43 pence, along with Navarro. Again, they both aren't key players, but really cheap, and they add to the collection score. Now Sanders, I paid £1.03 for. He is a starting fullback, and he scored really well. Didn't do so well against Boca, but the last two of the last 3, he's done really well, so I'm very happy with him. Hopefully he can do well, and again, also adding to that collection score. Could be one of the extra players that I add in to that Rosario team for next weekend. I'm not sure how I'm going to line it up yet, if I want to use purely Rosario players or mix it with some other ones. And then if we go to the other players, so we picked up 3 De Jong players just so that we can get to the 2% bonus. So Kim Moon Hwan, he's injured at the moment. When he's back, hopefully he'll do well. I picked him up because he's so cheap at the moment, and obviously if you look at his scores from before, he's definitely someone that I want to have in the team, and hopefully if De Jong do well, I do well. I picked up the keeper as well, so we've got a nice defensive stack that we can roll with. Lee Chang-Guen, I paid $6.36 for him. And again, I think he's gone up 12.61. Quite a few people bought him after me actually on instant buy, funnily enough, going up to 10.94. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then finally we picked up another centre back for them. Not the best, but he can get a decent score from time to time. And for 177, he just helps out that collection score a little bit more. Now we can go to the Google Sheet that I've got for this squad, just so that you can see all the values of the players. So none of these players have yet obviously yielded any cash. I'll add in an extra row for when they do, so I can obviously compare that against the value I paid for them. The 2 key players to stick out for are Jesse Lingard, who I got for well below the market rate, and Ju Min Kyu. I haven't actually updated this goalkeeper here, but he's doing well as Browen. Otter's dropped a bit, but I'm not too fussed about that. Hopefully we can return some cash soon just to offset that. We've got £8.60 left. I'll probably wait until next weekend and make 1 or 2 investments. I've only got 1 classic card at the moment, so that's probably where I'll add, just because I can obviously get them for so cheap, but I can get really good players. So you know, maybe even a Cecilia in a Road to Glory. Yeah, I could afford one actually. Who've they got this weekend? He's home. Do we do it? Do we just go out there and do it? How much has the price been going for? $8.59. It's under market rate. You know what? £8.01. Buy it with ETH. There we go, we have a Cecilia in the Road to Glory. He is classic, I don't care. Let me add him here quickly. So £8.11 we paid for Cecilia. I'll just put that as the price for now because I'm not too fast. So total spent is... That hadn't updated, which is very sad, so we overspent a little bit. Am I that fussed? Not really. We've spent £51 and 58 pence. So our cash has been burned. We're 158 down. You know what? We're going to set the original budget to 51.58 because I can't say I'm too fussed about that. There we go. We've got no cash left. Squad evaluations looking alright. 64.21. Okay, now let's have a quick look at the squads for this weekend and what we want to play. And then at the end, I'll get into how I would get into Contender, because obviously that was a comment that I received, and how to start and essentially go from there. Okay, so the first lineup we're going to go for is the Division 2 team. Now in goal, we're going to go for, I think we just go for the Rosario stack, just because I want to see how it can do for 2 weekends when they've got a good favourable matchup at home. We'll go for Ibarra as a midfielder, Campaz as a forward, and then we will go for, do we go for Sanders or do we go for Malcora? Gonna go for Sanders, just because the last game I watched he did better. We're going to captain Quintana. That's the lineup there. We've got 3% collection bonus. Hopefully the stack can do well. I've obviously got other Rosario players which I can put in, especially into Team 2. So this is where we're going to struggle a little bit more. Midfield options. We've got Malcora, we've got Quintero. Who do we prefer? Forward options. We're going to go for definitely Senior in this team. I mean, he's the best player in the league. Of course, we've got to go from. They've got a good matchup. We're going to go for Lee Chang-Guen because I think we'll go for the De Jong stack. We'll go for Ju Min-Kyu here. Defensively, we'll go for. I mean, Sangmu are at home. We'll do this. This is what we're going to go for. And then as the midfielder, we're going to go for Malcora. I like this team. Senior obviously captain. Hopefully that can do all right for us. Again, I'm just learning so much about these players that I don't 100% know yet. And then the final team, this is just kind of be the throwaway squad, just to see Otter in goal. I mean, it's not going to be a bad throwaway squad for that matter. Lee Yong at the back. We're going to go for Quintero, Jesse Lingard up top. And then for the final position, we can go for, don't have too many good options here. This is where a little bit stretched. Duarte, Navarro, Capetti. I'm going to go for the De Jong centre-back, I think, and we will captain Quintero. He's got a nice fixture. All three of these teams could do well this weekend. Obviously, we've got some nice players in this lineup here. One thing I will say is, if you're looking to get into Contender, the first thing I would recommend is finding a team, buying the 5 players from that you like, and just putting it in for a weekend. Like this Rosario team I did. You could do it with De Jong, like I said. Sangmu are a little bit expensive, but I do like them as well. Put them in, see how they do, see their weaknesses. Maybe even if you get, 2 goalkeepers or like a different goalkeeper, put out another squad, just so you can begin to learn the players a bit. Once you've got that, then once you've got a core of players, maybe a couple of collections, that's when you can add in a couple of extra players. So like for me, adding in this Senior here, he's got a nice matchup. He scores goals for fun. £8 for the classic version is a pretty good deal, I think. I've obviously got Jesse Lingard. I've got a great attacking firepower. Where my depth is, or where my weakness is in midfield. But now we're just going to hopefully return some cash, grind out some more essence, and see where we can end up. But the one thing I'd focus on is find yourself either a K-League. I quite like K-League, so let's take that for example. Find a team that you like. Find a cheap stack that are doing alright, because to be fair, most of the players that you can get, even if we look at Daegu, okay, whilst Daegu are obviously, whilst Daegu are typically Senior, Bruno Lamas, they are the expensive two. Hwang Jae Wong, let's have a look at this guy. He's expensive, to be fair. Daegu are quite expensive. They probably aren't the best example. The other team that I have looked at is obviously Sangmu, Seoul here. Kim Jin-soo is one of the best defenders so far. I wasn't going to pick him up, and he's done well again this weekend, which is really, really annoying. He just seems to be consistently doing well. Maybe his price will drop and I can pick one up, but Seoul, obviously I've got Jesse Lingard as well. Defensively, Kim Joo-sung, he's a great option. He's more expensive, but you can find teams that are cheap, like the Rosario stack that I found. They're nice, they're cheap. Hopefully they can return. That's the core. Because I could quite easily, and what I might actually do is, because I'm so confident now I think about it, I've obviously got Campaz and Sanders. I'm actually going to change this around because I don't feel so confident in them going forward. I mean, I could go to Senior, Lingard. No, what I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stick to this here. But say, for example, I wasn't feeling it, and once I know these players are a bit better, I could think, oh, they don't score many goals. I could be like, oh, I'm going to throw Senior in here. I'm going to do X, Y, Z, put Jesse Lingard in there just to mix it up a bit. But I've still got that core of players that were pretty cheap and seem to be returning quite well, because at the end of the day it's Contender. Quintana here, who's averaged 61 over his last 5 and averaged 59 over the last 15 at £1.16. He's obviously averaging 4 less over the last 15, but the points are the same in Contender. It's not like you're comparing from Premier League across to MLS or something like that where you're trying to balance it across. Contender are against other Contender teams, so finding the best players in the weakest league, like that Juan Quintero that we picked up here. 62 for £1.59. Points are equal. Okay, it says he's going to be on the bench. We'll have to see about that. Hopefully he's not, but again, the points they're all equal in this. That's what you've got to remember. So it's about finding the best value. But like I said, find that core team you like and then add from there. That's going to be your best option.